Today we're going to talk about building your $1 million prospecting machine. So let me ask you a question. If you lost everything today and had to rebuild your business from scratch, no leads, no clients, no listings, what's the first skill that you would rely on? Prospecting. But not just any prospecting. You can't throw spaghetti against the wall and expect it to stick. You've got to do intelligent prospecting. Not the smile and dial cold calls, not begging for business or bribing people with silly gimmicks. I'm talking about building $1 million prospecting machine powered by NEPQ with every conversation creates demand and not resistance. People, they don't buy because you push them. They buy because you ask the right questions that help them convince themselves it's time. Prospecting is your CEO skill. So let's just set the frame for this. Prospecting, that's not grunt work. Prospecting is the highest income producing activity in your business. Reality is the agent who sets more appointments, they're the winner. But only if the right appointments are set the right way. The biggest problem agents have is, most agents they're showing up to prospecting like amateurs. We talked about it yesterday. They have no pre-call ritual. There's no structure to it. It's just wing it. There's no real framework. And like I said, they're winging it and they're hoping that they get lucky. And here's the truth. Hope is not a prospecting strategy. Structure is. Scripts rooted in psychology are. NEPQ, neuro emotional persuasion questioning, is the system that flips resistance into receptivity. So what you need to do is you need to systemize your prospecting engine. So let's get a little tactical right here. You might want to write something down. First thing, your daily prospecting plan. You need to block minimum 90 minutes per day prospecting. You need to break them down into lead types. There's inbound leads, from Zillow, your website referrals. There's those nurture leads, the old leads and the unconverted conversations. Those cold leads, your geofarming and FSBOs, expireds. So you prioritize them based on their timing triggers and their urgency language. Number two is your tech stack. Your CRM that segments by behavior, not just name and email. You auto assign lead stages. There's cold to warm to hot to closed to post close prospecting. You know, use alerts and those task queues to know exactly who to call and when. Number three is your KPI machine, your key performance indicators. You need to track these three metrics religiously every single day. How many dials you made, how many conversations that you had, 2-minute conversations about real estate, not high click, that's not a conversation. How many appointments booked? Every metric should have a conversion goal. For example, Every 40 dials, you should have 10 conversations. Out of those 10 conversations, you should get 2 appointments. And out of those 2 appointments, you should get at least one of the listings. So structure your conversations using NEPQ. So let's talk scripts, not robotic pitch scripts, but NEPQ question frameworks that open the prospect up psychologically. You know, the first thing is you start with disarming, and here's a disarming opener. Hey Sarah, not sure if now's even the right time, but I had a quick thought after seeing your home expired recently. Would you be open to having a brief conversation about what may have caused it? You see, there's no pressure here. There's no sales pitch here. It's just curiosity driven questions. That's NEPQ. Number two are problem awareness questions. These questions will remind them of why they want to buy or sell. Just out of curiosity, what had you wanting to sell in the first place? What were you hoping would happen once the property has sold? You know, how long has this been on your mind? You see, you're not selling, you're pulling the reasons why they were even in the market. They're getting emotionally involved. And then number three, consequence questions. Sarah, what happens if the home doesn't sell for another 3 to 6 months? How would that impact your plans for retirement? Is that something you're okay with, or are you looking to avoid that? Now you're making them emotionally feel that cost of inaction, because there is a cost to not doing. Number four, solution vision questions. Hey, Sarah, what would the perfect outcome look like for you? Sarah, what would need to happen to make this move feel like the right decision for you and your family? If I could show you a way to create that outcome without the stress of, what happened last time, would you be open to that? See, these are probing questions. These are not sales questions. These are emotionally driven questions. Gets them to think, gets them to make the right decisions. And then number five, your tie down appointment. Hey, Sarah, let's do this. Why don't we jump on a quick 15-minute Zoom tomorrow? No pressure, no commitments, and we'll just walk through a couple of options together and see if any of them make sense for you. Would morning or afternoon work better? So you're not pitching, you're educating. You're leading them to their desired outcome. So NEPQ, it isn't just sales. NEPQ is leadership disguised as conversation. So there's a mindset of $1 million prospector. Let's talk about you, because tactics without state of mind equals failure. The top 1%, they don't just have better words. They have better belief systems. So here's your new identity. I solve problems. I don't sell houses. I ask questions. I don't pitch solutions. I help people see what they've been avoiding and walk toward it with them with confidence. I said this yesterday. You need to have that 5 minute pre prospecting ritual. Again, review 3 client wins recently, write them down, visualize the best case scenario, and say out loud, say, I'm not attached to the outcome. I'm here to serve with certainty. And you're either building a machine or, face it, you're just wasting time. So let's land this plane right now this morning. Um, you don't need more hacks. You don't need the latest and greatest CRM. You do need one that works and is more than just names, emails. You don't need a new dialer. What you need to do is you need to commit to building a daily structured, repeatable $1 million prospecting machine rooted in NEPQ. You want to have consistent clients? You want to have consistent closings? You want income you can scale and you can control? Then stop dabbling in real estate. Start dialing in with a framework. Start treating this like a business, not like a side hustle, not like a until something better comes along. Treat this like your business and you watch what happens. Because conversations, they don't close when you push. They close when they trust. And trust comes from questions, not from pitches. So build your machine, set your schedule, and run your system. And never, never look back. Peace.